So, you want to be a software engineer. In this episode of So You Want a Career in Tech, we are looking at the software engineering profession. A software engineer is a programmer who applies computer science principles to build, test, and maintain software applications. Software engineers are involved in every different part of the product development cycle, as they are the people actually building the product. If you love writing code, are looking for a challenging but rewarding discipline, and enjoy building things, then software engineering might be a career for you. While you may have an idea of what the day-to-day work looks like, it probably involves less coding than you think. Software engineers usually will spend several hours a day writing code in some form, but it's not all building flashy new product features from scratch. Much of the daily work is meetings, be it product overviews with the product team, design meetings with a web designer, or a planning session with DevOps. Engineers spend a ton of time in meetings of various different forms with various different stakeholders. Though this emphasis on meetings can apply to any role in tech, it is particularly noticeable on the engineering team in contrast to the public perception of a coder wearing a hoodie not leaving their chair for 10 hours straight. Software engineers do still spend a majority of their day working with code, but a lot of that time is spent testing, debugging, and rewriting old code from existing features. Maintaining and updating legacy code is just as, if not more, important than creating new features. Still, the percent of the time you do get to spend building out new features from scratch and getting to see them deployed can be incredible and is the allure for a lot of people. So, what different parts of the application do engineers work on? Well, all of it. But there are actually several different types of engineers who all specialize and work on different parts of the product. I'll be doing a dedicated video for each specialty, but I'll give a quick overview of the common ones here. Front-end engineers work on the visual, customer-facing side of the product, the front end of the stack. In a website application, take Airbnb for example, a front-end engineer works on the browser-facing side, building all of the looks and functionality of the website. This is not to be confused with designers who design and prototype the visual elements like color, layout, and pictures. Rather, front-end engineers take the designer's concepts and ideas and translate them into a working web page. Back-end engineers focus more on building the systems and logic that run the application. They are responsible for the server code, business logic, and API development that will be used by the front-end devs. Full-stack engineers are engineers who participate in the full stack of development, front-end through back-end. These roles are more generalist and touch more parts of the application, but consequently don't dive as deep into either specialty. Mobile engineers are full-stack engineers who specialize in building mobile applications within the wider team. There are two types of mobile engineers, iOS engineers and Android engineers, for the two mobile operating systems respectively. Lastly, developer operations or DevOps engineers create infrastructure for other engineers to do their work. This includes creating processes for checking and maintaining code, automating testing and deployment of new code, and ensuring all of the plumbing around these internal systems works properly. The education requirements for engineers are varied, and there are many different paths into the field. but that by no means makes it easy. Any way you pick, you will have to learn how to code, gain a solid understanding of computer science fundamentals, and build extensive products to show off your skills. The most traditional route into software engineering is through college. Most engineers who go this college route major in computer science and do an internship or two at a tech company during undergrad. Master's degrees are not necessary at all and are quite rare. The pros of this path are the near universal recognition among companies of the value of computer science degrees. A CS degree coupled with an engineering internship and a portfolio is one of the strongest applications you can have for an entry-level role. The cons of this path are the time and the cost. College is incredibly expensive in the US, and spending 4 years of your life, each year costing tens of thousands of dollars, is not suitable for everyone. Nonetheless, going this traditional college degree route is how many people break into the tech industry as engineers. One alternate path is the self-taught route. Whether you got a degree in another subject but fell in love with programming, can't afford a traditional 4-year education, or want to change careers as an already experienced professional, going the self-taught route might be for you. The cost is minimal and variable. People have taught themselves to code, built projects, and landed roles without spending $1 on any online education tools, though many who go this route do end up paying some money. Hundreds of dollars for online courses is a lot more affordable than tens of thousands for a degree, and that is a draw for many people. Additionally, the freedom and flexibility afforded by learning on your own schedule is a must for many people trying to learn a new skill while working a full-time job. The downsides of this route are many and should be taken seriously. First, many people who try this method fail. Teaching yourself this new skill set is not something everyone can do. If you want to land an engineering job, you have to be able to build software applications, not just write a few lines of code here and there. Second, the burden of proof is on you to show potential employers that you are ready and able to do the job you are applying for. They're not going to finish your education for you. Lastly, it can be hard to distinguish yourself from other self-taught programmers, CS grads, and bootcamp grads all applying for engineering roles. Your portfolio will have to be especially strong as a self-taught applicant to stand out from the crowd. The last, most recent path is to go to a bootcamp. These boot camps are usually 6 to 12 month programs that claim to teach you how to code. There isn't usually upfront cost, as most boot camps have you sign an income sharing agreement instead of paying tuition, and you do have a structured learning environment with teachers, homework, projects, and classmates. This is a more affordable path than a CS degree, as these boot camps usually end up costing between $10,000 and $20,000 all in. Additionally, the added structure is more conducive for students who have trouble self-studying or prefer learning in a classroom setting. This best of both worlds approach does have downsides too. First of all, it does still cost money, and that may be hard for some people. Second, not all boot camps have strong placement numbers, and you should make sure that the programs you are interested in have strong reputations and good job placement percentages for their graduates. Lastly, the burden of proof is still on you to stand out as a boot camp grad against traditional CS majors and self-taught wizards. Be prepared to go above and beyond the bootcamp curriculum in building an incredible portfolio. Once you make it to the interviews though, the process is standardized across the industry and you can know what to prepare for ahead of time, though this doesn't make it any easier. First contact will be an HR screen to see if you are a decent match for the role. Think generic questions about your skills, experience, and interest in the company. The second interview is a phone screen with the hiring manager. This will go more in depth into your technical abilities, portfolio, and education. Once you pass the hiring manager call, you will have either a take-home project to work on and present, or a live coding challenge to do under the supervision of an engineer. After that, the last interview stage is usually an on-site interview, nowadays virtual, lasting hours. This is a gauntlet of back-to-back interviews with several engineers and managers that are much more technical in nature. These interviews are also known as whiteboarding sessions due to certain companies requiring their candidates to actually write code with markers on a whiteboard. Passing this process will require determination, lots of preparation, a strong portfolio, and many, many hours of studying. Though this process is well documented and there are many good online resources on how to pass coding interviews. Now let's look at the scorecard. So, being a software engineer is a great, rewarding career. The pay is some of the highest in all of tech and all of business for that matter. Starting salaries for even entry-level engineers are on average six-figure salaries. I had several friends come out of college or boot camp, land an entry-level engineering role, and still get a starting salary of around $125,000. Compensation rises quickly too, promotions are generous, and many senior engineers with 6 to 8 years of experience or more can command multi-$100,000 salaries. The benefits too are usually top tier, depending on the company of course, and lastly, engineers often get large stock option plans as well. The impact on others in the business and visibility of your work is large. You could very well be the lead programmer on a revolutionary new product feature for your company. The hours can be tough. While flexibility in working hours is often afforded more to engineers, the work is challenging, and if something breaks, an engineer has to work on it until it's fixed. If this break is something critical to the company, you could spend all night hunting down and patching that bug. The interview process is one of the most challenging and tedious in the entire tech world. They usually involve long take-home projects, several interviews, and can last weeks or even months end to end. Lastly, the competition for many roles, especially entry-level or early career openings, can be fierce. But if all of this sounds good to you, the pros are worth it, the work is something you enjoy, and the cons are something you can overcome, being a software engineer is one of the most incredible roles in the tech industry. Thanks for watching.